God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your food.
I'm growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCullum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the god.
Leave him, Jonathan. This is sacred ground. Neutral territory. And I just had the carpet cleaned. By the sacred stole, this is very bad news. Bad news indeed.
Care to share?
What happened?
The hospital has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
Oh dear.
We cannot have the people lose faith in this institution. This hospital is their only hope.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned the dead patient. Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was Miss Harriet Jones. I found her room like a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere. The duty nurse is taking care of the mess.
Oops. Not the Mistress of the Dark. Oh no, this is terrible. Okay.
Very well. I'll help you.
I know this place means something to you. I have noticed how you suppress your appetite when around the staff and patients.
You need to know you can trust me, Edgar.
I do, dear fellow, I do.
Please then, tell me.
Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks. It seems he was infected after all.
So Hampton became more beast than man.
Exactly. And now Guard of Prewen suspects the hospital of vampire activity. Do you realize what that could mean for us?
Okay.
Do you really believe they would come for us here? In such a public venue?
McCullum is a fanatic. The Guard will stop at nothing. You don't know what they're capable of, Jonathan.
Very well. Since I brought Mr. Hampton here, I will put an end to this.
So, by my not doing the side quest, did I kill her? Oh, no. Okay. I have the wrong woman. So who's dead? Harriet Jones? Oh, the old bitch! Oh, okay, cool. I don't feel bad at all now. Okay. She wasn't even on my list of people. Rare species of vampires? This could really come in handy. I was gonna say, isn't that our friend? Dr. Aykroyd, that's lovely. Alright, well, it's time to go talk to a whole mess of people.
Sean Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of his flock. There's no other place he would go but the docks.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna go there just yet. I'm going to talk to absolutely everybody that I can find. Can I go up here yet? Oh no, probably never. I thought the door was locked, not inaccessible. Hello.
Good evening, Dr. Tibbets.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Can you tell me anything about the recent commotion in the hospital?
It's a tragedy, pure and simple. The hospital is meant to be a safe haven to all. We failed the people who trusted us with their care.
Do you think I should not have brought Mr. Hampton back here?
It's not your fault. You rescued that poor soul. It was the Christian thing to do. But we should have noticed his instability.
From now on, you're just gonna be locking up patients. Did I miss one? No, I didn't. Nothing there.
Goodbye, Dr. Tibbets.
Alright, so let's speak to pretty much everybody that we can find. Nothing to loot? No. Jeez.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
What can you tell me about the recent events in the hospital?
That Mr. Hampton killed Miss Jones in her room, then ran away.
And did you see all this?
No. I was working by the tents when it all happened. I only entered the room when they asked me to clean up the blood.
And it's a lot of blood.
Where is Miss Jones's body?
I don't know. I'd imagine the morgue. It all happened so quickly.
Did you see Sean Hampton leave the hospital?
I think I saw a silhouette exiting the hospital gates after the shouting started. At first I thought it was someone who was just scared, but well, maybe it was him.
I think anyone would be scared.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Good sir?
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Can you tell me anything about recent events at the hospital?
Before the shouts and the noises, I think I heard whispers coming from the stairs. 2 voices, maybe more.
Did you recognize the voices? What did they say?
I couldn't hear. Sounded like they were arguing or something.
Okay.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Damn. The pain. It's here again.
That's where he was.
What on earth happened here?
Huh. Did he just drag her out of here? I think I've seen this before. Oh, did I miss you?
For so little result.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
I'm glad you're alive.
Is there anything you can tell me about the recent commotion here?
Many things can happen under cover of night, Dr. Reed. But I took no part in this massacre.
But did you see or hear anything?
I can't say I did. But the smell of fresh blood almost made me faint, Doctor.
I'm going to her room. There's plenty of blood there.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
haven't spoken to you yet.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
Everybody's afraid. Death has always been a frequent visitor. But murder? How can we cope with that?
As a nurse at this hospital, it is your duty to deal with these things as best you can.
Yeah. Until it's my turn to have blood spread all over the walls. I entered the room first, Dr. Reed. I've seen what that monster did to the woman.
That's, is therapy a thing
Goodbye,
yet?
Nurse Hawkins.
I wish I could be sick again. Feel my blood boil with the fever.
I mean, if Carl Jung is your only doctor, then might I suggest not, but...
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
You sound awfully cheerful, considering.
Can you tell me anything about the recent commotion in the hospital?
I'm sure it was not your fault, Dr. Reed.
My fault? What do you mean?
Oh, nothing. It's just... I heard it was you who brought the murderer inside our walls. But you couldn't know, could you?
Oh, wow. You are a horrible, horrible man. Well, when I can mesmerize you, guess what I'm doing?
Tell me, Thoreau, what's the real cause of your dislike for Dr. Ackroyd?
He refuses to admit that your blood transfusion technique is the only way to save Mr. Fiddick. I'm convinced we must use it.
What Dr. Ackroyd really said is that you lack the skill to perform this operation efficiently. Is there anything you have to say about this?
It's a false conceit. Dr. Ackroyd secretly envies your reputation. His jealousy blinds him. I'm not the real target here.
Yes, it seems. But I've asked you everything I can.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
My mesmerized level gets high enough. I'll talk to you guys first.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
It's a disgrace. How on earth can patients be attacked in their own rooms?
Nothing here.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick. Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
I had shouting coming from the first floor. I was asleep when it started.
Nothing new on you either.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, you say that, but you know,
Won't let you down, my boy.
I'm never actually in the hospital anymore.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Please, tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital.
I heard Miss Jones call for help from her bedroom. With some loud noises, like people fighting. All of a sudden, it went quiet. And then the nurse started screaming.
Do you know who the nurse was?
Not sure, but I think it was Nurse Hawkins.
It was. She's a bit unhappy.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
Sweet girl. Seemed to be like a book.
Strickland.
Never could keep anything from her.
How can we be sure we're making a difference?
Oh, I could have sworn I saw something. Clearly I didn't. guess I'm going this way then. The Ashbury. Spoke to you. And you. It's a lot of blood.
Oh, Jonathan. I cannot believe my eyes. Poor woman. Butchered by some savage Skal.
He's a Skal? Actually, that makes sense. Can we share this meal?
Yes, and I'm afraid I'm at least partially responsible. The man, the Skal, I brought him here.
Jonathan, how could you say such a thing?
Forgive me if I feel despondent, for there seems to be no end to the suffering and death that surrounds us.
I'm always here for you, Jonathan.
If there aren't romance options in this game, they are setting it up way wrong.
Have you embraced this woman, like the other patient, this Mr. Renfield?
Her name was Amelia. And no, I did not kill her. I vowed a very long time ago that I would never take another life, unless they ask.
Oh, that's very nice.
Is there sufficient vitality in the blood of the sick and dying patients?
Yes, Jonathan. The hunger gnaws at me every waking hour. Frankly, I'm starving.
Temptation surrounds us. Rich, vital. How can you resist?
Over the years, any pleasure I once gleaned from feeding is long gone. I drink for sustenance. And though I still thirst for more, I restrain myself.
Considering I can't stop eating an entire bag of crisps, yeah, no.
What do you know of Ascalon? I was threatened by a creature, a vampire in Whitechapel, stating I had to obey the law of conduct.
What more can you tell me about him?
Yeah, he was huge.
He was bigger than a man. Huge, in fact. He seemed to radiate violence. I thought he was going to tear me apart. Then he vanished.
Fergal, the executioner of Ascalon. You were fortunate he was not after you, but rather out doing his master's bidding.
His master's bidding?
What is Ascalon?
The Ascalon Club are the most powerful vampires in Britain and exert tremendous influence. Take my advice and stay well away.
I know I'm gonna have to fight him later.
I have experienced a certain difficulty when faced with holy symbols or trying to enter religious buildings. Have you?
Now that's quite a question. I don't know why, but yes, it has happened to me.
Is this a sign? The hand of God in action? Are we repellent unto heaven?
I don't have the answers, Jonathan. But I believe superstition and magic is just fact awaiting the lens of science.
Aren't you frightened?
Very little scares me, my dear. To be compelled to avoid symbols of faith does not concern me.
Thank you, my lady. I hope to see you again soon.
I do enjoy her. Just those guys. I can go talk to him now.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Not doing a good job of it.
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
Someone killed Miss Jones in her room, and Mr. Hampton's gone missing. Doesn't take a genius to piece it together.
You don't seem shocked by any of this.
Why should I be? Whoever did this must be long gone by now. And besides, he got rid of the old bag.
I have to agree with him. Oh, he's healthy. So I can't cure everyone, so it seems.
Goodbye, Milton.
Okay. Who else can I was gonna say interview, but let's go with interrogate, shall we?
Hey, Doc.
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
All I know is I ain't letting anyone rip my throat out in my sleep. I found myself a nice play, Doc. I'm ready.
You can't blame him.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox. Hello again, Mr. Blight.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. You doing your rounds as usual?
I can't talk to him about it.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Take care of yourself.
Alright, I am gonna go find... I can't remember his name. But the one that used to be a doctor. Who can sell us stuff. We got a hint about him before. You, sir.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Such a pleasure to see you again.
Yes, Rakesh, that's his name.
Can you tell me anything about recent events in the hospital?
Oh, goodness me. This whole story is such a shame, sir. I have no idea how it happened.
What are you talking about?
Poor Miss Jones. Her body is missing. Someone stole it.
Okay, that's bad news.
Miss Jones's body has gone missing.
Yes. The body was brought here this morning, and now it's gone.
Who could have stolen a corpse?
That's exactly what I asked myself for the whole day. Who could do such a thing? These are terrible and shameful times, Dr. Reed.
Did Sean come back to the scene of the crime?
Tell me the truth about your appointment as a medic during the war, Rakesh.
The regiment administration appointed me by mistake. I had to learn the job on the spot, sir. Very hard, sir, but I rose to the challenge.
Do you realize how many soldiers died because of that decision? You should have refused.
Yes, sir. I swear I did, sir. But no one listened. When the first wounded arrived, I had to do what I could.
It is an unbelievable story, Mr. Chidana.
It was a time beyond belief, Dr. Reed. But I'm happy not to deal with the wounded. I prefer caring for the dead now.
You can't impersonate a doctor. You can't improvise a medical education. People could die at your hands.
You're absolutely right, sir. But as a field surgeon, it was more like being a butcher.
Do you believe you have really helped these people?
My ratings were within the averages of the regiment. I saved lives, Dr. Reed. Does that not say enough about triage and war surgery?
Meatball surgery, they called it on MASH.
Goodbye, Mr. Chidana.
Can I steal from you? No, it's locked. Alright, there's one more guy at the front, but I doubt we'll be able to talk to him about this stuff. Alright, you are... That's not what I meant to do. You're Strickland. Actually, there's one more doctor I haven't found yet. There he is.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
Nothing like this would have happened if we'd had enough staff and proper shifts.
So you don't think the blame is ours?
We all hold fast here, Dr. Reed. Our methods may differ, but we are all trying to make a difference.
Okay, that's it.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can find this last guy real quick. I think I've spoken to everyone now.
Good evening.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Nope, can't ask him anything. I'll accept this stuff.
Oswald, why did you not go to the Pembroke Hospital to seek medical help?
I don't trust doctors. All they care about was their careers and processes. I won't be locked in any room again by anyone.
Your fear of being trapped is not going to go away by itself. You need professional help.
I've seen enough butchers in white coats to last a lifetime. Hospitals reek of chemicals and death. What I need is fresh air.
Mr. Thatcher, do you have a job?
No. Since I came back from the war, I spent most of my time and energy just trying to forget.
I understand what you mean. I was a soldier too.
No. Nobody can truly understand what I've gone through.
Why were you locked in that sewer? What happened?
I went by the canal after an argument with a friend. Got chased by these fucking wankers and had to barricade myself in, despite my claustrophobia.
Why did you run? What was the reason for your argument?
Newton wanted me to go to a hospital, but I can't stand being closed in. Makes me feel like I'm suffocating.
Tell me about your claustrophobia. Has anyone given you an official diagnosis?
That's what the bloody doctor said. But I don't want to go to a hospital to get checked again. I'll deal with it my own way.
I swear we've asked him this before, but... It says I didn't, so I did it again.
Goodbye, Mr. Thatcher. Try to take care of yourself.
Okay, so next... Oh, down by the docks. That's down here. Oh, we can go to the West End, though. That should be fun. Alright, then... we'll be heading down to the docks.